Hi there, I'm Alex from the Southern Ukulele Store and I'm back in the basement, as you can see, of the shop. And I'm here today to film the most requested video that I've had on the YouTube channel over the past 3 or 4 months, which is the Romero Creations Tiny Tenor and the Romero Creations Grand Tenor. Which is better? Well, the Tiny Tenor we've had for quite a while. You've seen it featured probably in several videos if you follow the channel. But the Grand Tenors arrived literally for the first time this time yesterday. So we've had 24 hours just to give them a bit of a setup, take photos for the website, check we're happy with them, and we're blown away with them. I think there's lots of competition in the £800 to £1,000 price point nowadays. But what they've done very cleverly at Romero Creations is create a ukulele that's trying to do something completely different. And it's definitely going to tick the boxes for certain people in a way that other ukuleles just won't. So I'm really excited to compare them. We've got 5 ukes to look at. I also decided that we should have a look at the Chinese-made spruce top Romero Creations Tiny Tenor, which is the most popular one we sell here at SUS, but one that is not really featured anywhere else online too much. So I thought we'll do that one first, and then we'll move on to the Tiny Tenor and Grand Tenor Mango and Koa. Just one other thing finally, I just want to thank my friend Scott, who came all the way from the east coast of America to the south coast of the UK just to give me a free hat and buy a Ukulele. So thank you very much, Scott. The kind of person that comes all that way with a present for me is a friend of mine for life. So I guess the only thing left to say is that if anyone out there wants to give me anything else for free, the kind of hat I like is this kind of hat with the flat peak rather than a baseball cap, because I have an asymmetrical head. You don't need to know that, but if you were thinking about buying me a hat, that's definitely something you need to know. So Scott, you got it absolutely right. I'm going to wear this hat out, and I look forward to featuring all of your hats at home as you send them to me in the post in the coming months. Anyway, enough about my ego. Let's play some Romero Creations ukuleles. Okay, the first ukulele we're going to look at today is the Romero Creations Tiny Tenor Spruce. It has a couple of names, but the key information here is that this is the cheapest model in the range of the Tiny Tenors. This one is made in China as well, as opposed to Vietnam. It has a solid spruce top with laminate mahogany back and sides, and mahogany neck. Modern ones have an ebony fingerboard and bridge, although I believe the first models of these we received were rosewood. Slightly kind of slender 35mm nut width, but with a kind of chunky Pono Kala-like neck. Really good geared tuners on that reduced size headstock. It doesn't feel small when you hold it in your hands. It just looks like someone's cut the top off, but everything about this is very streamlined to the touch. Yeah, really good ukulele. They come as standard with a wound low G. If you look at close-ups in the video, you might see the strings a bit tarnished, but don't worry, we tend to replace those strings before we dispatch them so that you get a fresh low G on dispatch. One thing to note about these is the whole bridge, which some people like, some people don't. It can be difficult to restring if you're in a bit of a hurry, because the way to restring one of these would be to feed a string through the hole and then bring it out of the sound hole, tie a knot, and then pull it tight. So if you're in a hurry to change a string, then perhaps this ukulele is one that you should have a good think about before you buy. There are side dots on the front. White mother of pearl. Yeah, just a great ukulele. The introductory ukulele to the Romero Creations Tiny Tenor brand of ukes. Last thing I haven't mentioned is the black plastic binding around the outside on the top and the back, and the abalone rosette, which you'll see more and more on the range as we go up. But the most popular ukulele of the lot that we have here, very rarely do we have them in stock for long. So if you want to dip your toe into pineapple ukuleles or the Tiny Tenors, then this is a great one to look at. Let's give it a play and see what you guys think. Okay, and the next ukulele we're going to look at the range is the Romero Creations Tiny Tenor Mango. So the Mango model is all solid wood, so it's solid mango top, back and sides, and from this point onwards all of these ukuleles will be made in Vietnam, which is a country that make fantastic ukuleles. We've seen quite a few Vietnamese instruments in the past, but this would be, I think, the most mainstream model out there now. Nothing wrong with a Vietnamese made instrument. They make some fantastic ukuleles, and quite often in smaller factories. So with a Chinese made instrument, you might have at any point in the process, 4 or 5 times as many people handle the instrument or involved in the building process as you would with this. It's a much more refined, streamlined effort. The difference between the spruce top model and this, first of all, is the gloss finish. This is a gloss on the top, back and sides. It also has a gloss neck, which is something you don't see too much these days. Mahogany neck again with the ebony fingerboard and bridge, and it's that string through bridge again that we mentioned on the Tiny Tenor Spruce. One thing to note about these is that every one has looked dramatically different. We've had some mango that have been this kind of white yellowy colour, we've had some that have been green, we've had some that have been brown. It's something that we have to update on every single delivery. So buying a Romero Creations Tiny Tenor and Mango, you're almost safe to assume that you're buying something that looks a bit more unique, and you could have a room full of people with the same instrument and they'd all be different enough to make it more exciting. Anyway, I'm going to give this one a play and see what you guys think. Okay, the next ukulele we're going to look at in the range is our first Grand Tenor. So this is the Romero Creations Mango Grand Tenor. What's so special about the Grand Tenor and what makes it so grand? Well, first of all, the body depth of this instrument is incredibly thick. It's, off the top of my head, I think it's 6 centimetres. I'll do an amendment in the bottom of the screen if it's different to that. But yeah, a really thick, really deep body on an enlarged, almost baritone body size. It's just slightly smaller than some of the more kind of common baritones we had up on the shop floor, but it's about 9/10 of the way there. The scale length is still the same, but the Grand Tenors come with a 38mm nut, and that extra kind of girth on the neck is translated and kind of accommodated in the shape of the neck. The neck on the Grand Tenor feels slightly more slender than on the Tiny Tenor. So you're getting kind of more wood in the neck as you go down, and that translates as well into the sustain. Like when you play a single note on this, it goes on for a very, very long time, and the decay is much less evident than it becomes on the Tiny Tenor. Still going. Just stopped. Once again, this has the ebony fingerboard and that string through bridge where you'd need to thread the string through and tie a knot if you were to restring it down the line. Bone nut and saddle with the mother of pearl dots and a mother of pearl Romero inlay on the headstock to show that it's the Grand Tenor and not the Tiny Tenor. You have an abalone rosette there as well. Thankfully, these come in a fitted case or gig bag, seemingly depending on the model. But they come with something to kind of protect the instrument, because you would struggle to find the perfect case for this separately. We've been blown away by these. These were so much more than I expected them to be, at around that kind of £800 to £1,000 price point. I think Romero they've created an instrument that they describe as being piano-like, and it's I completely get that. There's so much balance and depth to this ukulele. When you play notes, they ring out, but they They also have a full body to them. It's a player's instrument. This is a professional player's instrument, and it answers a lot of the things that some tenor ukuleles lack. That deeper body paired with the slightly thinner but longer nut width is just a great combination. I'm going to give the Grand Tenor a play and see what you guys think. Okay, next ukulele we're going to look at is the Tiny Tenor Romero Creations in Koa. And this is another Vietnamese made ukulele. I think at this point in time this is the top of the line Tiny Tenor model. The solid Koa top, back and sides gives it that kind of Hawaiian, very traditional feel and sound, but it still has the gloss finish on the top, back and sides, along with the gloss neck, the ebony fingerboard and bridge with that string through bridge that you'd need to thread the string through entire knot if you were to restring it. The 35mm nut with that reduced headstock and those geared tuners. The neck profile on the Tiny Tenors is thinner than the Grand Tenor, but very, very comfortable, very normal. It feels almost like a Kala ukulele, the neck profile. Abalone rosette. One thing that we should touch on, I didn't have time to do too much research on because I decided to do the video as I hit record, but this ukulele has, it's kind of reversed braced. So if you took how a ukulele would normally be constructed and then you turned it all upside down to build this reduced sized ukulele, indeed the length of the Romero Creations Tiny Tenor is the same length as your average concert ukulele. It's designed to be compact. It's designed to be the opposite of the Grand Tenor, which is very lavish and grand, which, I've just got why they named it the Grand Tenor. But the Tiny Tenor is reduced, it's small, it's meant to fit into a concert case. These do come with a gig bag of sorts when you buy them, so there's something to protect them out of the box, but just another great design. And every one of these has looked different as well. Maybe not as extreme as the Mango, but you know, some Tiny Tenors have a kind of plainer, darker Koa. Some are very figured and kind of multicoloured like this one. This one's almost tiger stripe-like. It's great. Yeah, just another great tenor ukulele worth a play. So let's give it a play. Okay, and the final instrument we're going to look at today is the Romero Creations Grand Tenor in Koa. So this ukulele, just covering some of the bases we mentioned in the Mango video a moment ago. This is solid Koa on the top, back and sides with a gloss mahogany neck and a gloss top all around. Has an abalone rosette with an ebony fingerboard and bridge with the string through bridge that you'd pull through to tie the knot and tie the string. Slightly wider 38mm nut with the mother of pearl dots, and it has those same closed reduced sized geared tuners with a slender headstock, but actually it just feels like a normal headstock. It looks strange, but it doesn't feel out of the ordinary. You could get used to this in seconds. And The slightly chunkier neck, as I mentioned on the Mango, is kind of rectified by being slightly thinner than the Tiny Tenor. So you've got more wood in the neck and it creates more natural sustain. And what they were going for with the wider body depth as well on this ukulele was a piano-like sound. And I can't decide right now whether I prefer the Koa or the Mango. Hopefully you hear this and come to a conclusion very quickly. But I think both of these ukuleles give every other instrument up to £1,000 a run for their money. They're fantastic. I'm going to give it a play, and I hope you like how it sounds. So what did you guys think? The Romero website likes to talk about those grand tenors as sounding almost piano-like, and it's really hard to disagree. I hope it comes across properly in the video, but they are just so balanced. They have these big, thick, deep bodies, which really help, I don't know, like they almost clean the note on the way out of the sound hole. Really great design. Everyone at Romero Creations who builds these or is involved at any point should be really proud of them. I look forward to kind of featuring more of them in the future. We're looking at getting the 6-string Daniel Ho model in the coming months. If there's anything on the website that you would like to see featured in a video, or something that you think that we should have in stock that we don't hesitate to leave a comment. You can call the shop, you can speak to anyone at the team on 01202 430 820, or you can email me at the shop at alex@ukulele.co.uk. That's someone ringing now. Wow, that was quick. Anyway, have a great day, and I look forward to filming again for you soon.